Hey everybody, it's Rob. An update. I've got a new Quint's item in my collection. A brand new Quint's item. I'll get to that in a second. But first, a thoughtfully built wardrobe comes down to pieces that mix well and last. That's where Quint's shines. Premium fabrics, considered design, and everyday essentials that feel effortless to wear and dependable, even as the seasons change. And boy, are they changing. We've been traveling a lot. You never know if it's winter or spring or summer. And Quint's has something for every one of those seasons. Fall, too. But Quint's has everyday essentials, and that's what I love. They have lightweight cashmere sweaters, short-sleeve Mongolian cashmere polos, linen bottoms and shorts. I mean, now's your time. You got to get your closet ready for summer. And you're going, Rob, I can't afford that kind of constant clothes buying. Well, I'm here to tell you that Quint's works directly with the manufacturer. They cut out the middleman, so you don't pay for those top brand prices and markups. Just quality clothing at a very reasonable price. So I've got this great new short sleeve button-up number and collared shirt, and I wore it at the gig I had with the band just now in Philadelphia, and so it's ready to rock. I can tell you now, it's passes all of rock's standards. It's a great shirt, and again, not too pricey. I also got a sweater that I wore when I was in New York. Again, great quality sweater. Lots of people ask me about it. I said, that's a Quint's. So right now, go to quints.com/STN for free shipping and 365-day returns. That's a full year to build your wardrobe and love it. And you will. Now available in Canada, too. Don't keep settling for clothes that don't last. Go to quince.com/STN for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/STN. Hey guys, it's Rob. Did you know there's an online cannabis company that ships federally legal THC right to your door? And they found a way to combine THC with carefully selected functional ingredients to create gummies, baked goods, and flour for whatever type of feeling you'd like to achieve. And I'm talking about Mood.com. They have an incredible line of cannabis gummies, and you can get 20% off your first order at Mood.com with promo code THEN&NOW. So forget one-size-fits-all supplements that only get you high. Mood's functional gummies are optimized to really start to work for you in as little as 15 minutes. And they take you to the mood you're looking for. They've got Mind Magic gummies, which are, focus you on your work and enhance creativity. That's a space I really like to work in. I like to feel creative and productive. But they've got moods for everybody. If you feel like just taking a nap, they've got that. Beyond gummies, they've also got flour. They've got pre-rolls, bakery treats, and beverages. And everything ships discreetly right to your door. No dispensary lines, no awkward conversations. Just better days and nights delivered to your doorstep. Best of all, not only is every Mood product backed by a 100-day satisfaction guarantee, but as I mentioned, listeners get 20% off their first order with code THEN&NOW. So head to Mood.com, find the functional gummy that matches exactly what you're looking for, and let Mood help you discover your perfect mood. And don't forget to use promo code THEN&NOW when you check out to save 20% on your first order. Try it today at Mood.com. In 2005, two brothers hit the road in search of their father and wound up fighting demons, angels, monsters, and fate itself.
Over the next 15 years, Supernatural became more than just a TV show. It became a family with one of the most passionate fan bases in the world.
I'm Rob Benedict. I played Chuck Shirley. You might also know me as God.
And I'm Richard Speight Jr. I played Loki, the Trickster, and Gabriel. And I also directed more than a few episodes.
Now, we spent years making this show, but we never actually sat down to watch every single episode in order until now.
And that means that each week, we're watching Supernatural from the beginning, now diving into Season 8, the year of purgatory, prophets, and the pursuit to close the gates of hell. And we'll be joined by cast, writers, directors, and the crew who help bring each episode to life.
You'll hear behind-the-scenes stories, our honest reactions, and maybe learn a little about how television gets made along the way.
Now, I'm warning you, there are going to be spoilers. And remember, this is our first time truly watching the series, so if we miss a detail or don't remember what happens 3 seasons from now, well, that's part of the fun.
So join us as we keep the engine running, hit the open road, and fall even deeper in love with Supernatural. Hey everybody, it's Rob Benedict.
And I'm Richard Spate Jr.
And we are talking about Supernatural Season 8, Episode 18, Freaks and Geeks.
Which one are you, Rob?
Both.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm the and.
Oh, interesting.
Well, I was going to pick a freak or geek, but if you're both freak and geek, then it only leaves me one word.
That's true. You're the and. You're the and to my freak and geek.
Exactly.
Hey guys, listen. It's cheaper than a drink at a bar or a blended coffee from Starbucks. It's the angel level membership of Supernatural Then and Now. For just $4 a month, you'll be supporting the show. And that's less than $1 an episode to support this magic, this kind of back and forth.
That's a Nestle cheaper than a drink. Even these, when you go to these bars now that have alcohol free, I don't know what they're called, but just like non-alcoholic drinks, they're charged a king's ransom.
Yeah.
With no booze in them.
Yeah, you're talking about mocktails.
Mocktails, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, mocktails. Well, how about mock my financial situation tales? Because I'm telling you, why would you charge that much with no booze? So not only should you join the angel level because we deliver great entertainment, but also just to give the finger to those mocktail jerks who think you're a sucker.
There you go. Get angry.
That's exactly right, Rob. Get angry.
You can sign up at Apple Podcasts or at Patreon.
Cool.
And if you're super fancy on Patreon, for $9, you can become an archangel to get access to live streams with us, video interviews with the cast, and other goodies.
And by the way, this is a hell of an indictment of the mocktail business, but $9 is still cheaper than your average mocktail.
Well, I'm telling people to support the show, and you're saying drink alcohol.
No, I'm saying support us. Don't give your money to the stupid mocktail business that thinks you're an idiot.
Just have a shot like a good old-fashioned American.
Sure. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
But I'm saying don't spend money on mocktails.
Right.
That's a waste.
Right. Beer. Now that's where...
You used to be fun, by the way, just for the record.
Anyway, yeah, Archangel, $9. That's around $2 an episode.
Wait, though. Just wait.
Just wait. We're just getting started.
Speaking of getting started, Robbie, should you summarize this thing?
Yes.
Okay.
In Conway Springs, Kansas.
Do you think it's named after Conway Twitty?
I'm going to go with no.
Huh.
But, you never know.
Okay.
2 teens are making out in a parked car when a mysterious figure approaches from a blue van.
How many times did you rewind that scene, Rob? I literally called JC and I said, watch this. Teens making out. Robbie's got this on a loop.
Gross.
That's exactly what she said.
Well, I agree with her.
Yeah, no, she said Robbie's gross.
Yeah, I didn't. That didn't turn me on, Rich, but appreciate the...
well, that's nice. That's nice.
I
Nice
appreciate
switcheroo.
the character...
Assassination,
yeah. The boy exits the car with a knife just before the figure drags the girl through the window. The boy quickly decapitates the attacker, revealing it to be a vampire.
Did you recognize, by the way, immediately that it was our Krissy Chambers?
Yeah, because I had seen the
as seen last week,
right,
whatever. Yeah.
We recognized, and I couldn't believe it because she was a little girl last time we saw her. Now she's a full-on teenager. We recognized Krissy Chambers for the episode Adventures in Babysitting, now older and an experienced hunter. She asked that next time she not be bait.
Right.
The next day, Sam and Dean arrived posing as FBI agents to investigate a pair of murders involving blood-drained victims.
Did they have fun names?
No. The guy didn't say their names.
All right.
I just remember the odd thing about this is that guy had a deep South accent.
Oh, yeah. I know that. It was really charming, but I was like, I missed the region. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, it was deep. It was like...
Hey!
It was like Southern Virginia, sort of.
Really deep.
Yeah. Right there in Kansas.
Right there in southern Kansas.
Reviewing security footage with a local officer, Dean recognizes Chrissy on the tape. The brothers take over the case and wonder if Chrissy's father knows that she's hunting. At a rundown motel, Chrissy and her group, Josephine and a teenage boy named Aiden, that actor was on one of the seasons of White Lotus.
That's why he looked familiar. I was sitting the whole time doing, he was Michael Imperioli's kid.
Yeah.
And F. Murray Abraham's grandkid.
Yeah, I didn't know if you watched that show.
I was trying to put it together the whole time.
Yeah.
I was going like, this kid looks familiar, but I don't know why.
Yeah, he was on season 2 White Lotus. So, meanwhile, Sam and Dean track Krissy to her room and confront her.
Which, by the way, alongside one of the hottest Italian actresses I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
That whole subplot was insane.
That was definitely your favorite season of that show. Krissy reveals that her father died some time ago. Before they can press further, Josephine and Aiden break into a nearby room to ambush a suspected vampire. Instead, they find a frightened woman tied to the bed. A vampire attacks, but when Sam and Dean get involved, the creature escapes through the window towards a waiting van.
Yeah.
Krissy catches up with the fleeing vampire, Jimmy, and gets him to the ground. Josephine insists he's the vampire responsible for killing her family and decapitates him despite his insistence of innocence and begging for his life. Krissy later explains that vampires killed her father shortly after the Winchesters last saw them.
Oh.
Similar to how Josephine and Aiden lost their families. Dean argues Krissy is too young to hunt and suggests she live with her aunt, but Krissy refuses, citing their mentor, Victor. Okay, question. Have we met Victor before?
I had not.
Okay. Because they said like, hey, I remember we saw each other up at that Rougarou.
I think it was just like they were connecting the fact that they were both hunters.
Was this supposed to be ever like a spin-off idea?
It sure as heck felt like it to me, man.
Yeah. It feels like a spin-off pilot.
It felt like Adam saw, hey, there's X-Men. Let's do like a Hunters meets X-Men type thing.
By the way, great idea. But I never heard about that being.
No, maybe this was let's do this on the DL and see if it resonates.
Right. Well, curious about Victor, a fellow hunter they know from the past, Sam and Dean, that they know, but we don't. Sam and Dean visit his large home. Victor explains he's been raising and training the teens while ensuring they attend school and live more stable lives than hunters typically do. He believes the next generation of hunters must be stronger and better trained than the last. Dean remains uneasy about putting children in danger. Dean's such a good guy that way, isn't he?
Well, also, wouldn't Sam feel uneasy about that? I mean, it's not like Sam is like, throw the kids out there.
No, Dean just talks it, just says it.
Right, he just says it out loud.
Yeah.
It's that older brother thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Although he has no problem putting his younger brother in harm's way, but
I know, right?
Ripped him out of college.
Yeah, totally. Meanwhile, Dean questions the woman found in the motel room. She reveals that the vampire, Jimmy, never harmed her and seemed confused and frightened, having only recently returned from Afghanistan. The teens soon return home. Victor shares surveillance photos supposedly identifying the vampire who killed Krissy's father. But Dean realizes something doesn't add up. Jimmy was only turned into a vampire a month ago, yet Josephine's family died 3 months earlier.
Wait a minute. That doesn't add up.
I know. Sam notices the mysterious blue van nearby and rushes to warn Victor, only to learn the teens have already left to hunt another vampire. Were you in the Victor camp? Were you like, I trust this guy?
Not at all. I mean, look, when I first saw it and I thought it was a spinoff, I thought, oh, this is Patrick Stewart.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I thought for a second, this is going to be a guy, a mentor, like a Jimmy Beaver type thing, but they went with more of a country club version. Yeah. And they're going to he's going to be a wealthy backer of these vampire hunter children, lost boys type thing.
But no.
But then he got a little, then I'm like, no, something doesn't add up.
Yeah. Dean tracks the supposed target to a nearby lodge and finds a woman tied up who is beginning to turn into a vampire herself. When the teens arrive, Dean convinces them they've been manipulated. Both Jimmy and the woman are newly turned and couldn't be responsible for the earlier murders. Dean argues that vampires usually attack immediately rather than plead for their lives, suggesting someone is staging these hunts. But who? Meanwhile, Victor reveals the truth to Sam before knocking him unconscious. He orchestrated the deaths of the teens' families using his vampire accomplice, Seth. Wow. Seth, huh? What a dick.
It's always Seth.
What a dick.
Anytime the character named Seth comes on screen, you're like, it's that guy.
Inspired by the chaos of the Leviathan outbreak, Victor believes humanity needs a new generation of hardened hunters. Dean soon arrives with the teens and exposes Victor's manipulation. Horrified, Krissy turns a gun on Victor. She pulls the trigger only to reveal the gun is empty.
That's a good scene. That's a nice, threatening scene.
It really is. It is. Choosing to let Victor live with his guilt. However, Victor suddenly pulls out a hidden gun and kills himself.
I thought that was really well shot.
Yeah.
Because obviously they couldn't show the suicide. So the way the camera landed on him with the gun on his head and then kept going to the wall.
Is that a thing? You can't show suicide?
I think that would have been a bridge too far for CW, is my guess.
Right, sure. That was great. Showalter directed this episode, right?
He showed all of us, not just Walter, because I think it was a really well done scene.
The following morning, the group works to cure the newly turned vampire woman. Sam and Dean say goodbye to Chrissy, who decides to continue hunting with Aiden and Josephine Wednesday nights at 9. I mean, how is this not a show?
Aiden and Josephine. I don't know. It really did feel like a spinoff.
Yeah.
And a good one, by the way.
Yeah, totally. I feel like this would be popular. Young hunters.
New breed. It's a new breed. This fall on CW, the hunt continues.
Dean reluctantly admits she's no longer a kid and says Garth will periodically check in with them. Now, Garth, DJ could basically is a regular on the show at this point who never appears.
Name drop wise, like
Every episode.
Kevin's living on his boat.
Yeah.
Heavily involved in the show without being involved at all in the show.
As the brothers leave, Sam says things turned out okay. Dean disagrees, worrying that none of it will matter if they fail to close the gates of hell. I mean, that's that's reminding us all that that's the mission of the season.
Yep, exactly.
So that was my big question the whole time. Like, this really works. And it was one of those things where normally on Supernatural, you don't really stick with the guest stars without Sam and Dean there.
Yeah, not a lot.
And there was a lot of sort of especially at the beginning, the three kids sort of planning their next move and stuff. And I was like, oh,
100%. And they were building in sub story. Like, he loves her, she doesn't love him. Like,
yeah.
I agree.
Well, that's it. That's the episode we just finished.
All right. Well, let's do what we do after Rob summarizes the episode, which is Rob and Rich ratings.
All right. Well, Richard,
I enjoyed this episode. I thought it was very good. Like you said, it felt like I was watching a pilot for a CW show.
I thought the kids were all good.
All very good. I enjoyed the whole thing. Do you know what you're going to give it? I'm still thinking here.
No, but I'll talk through it a little bit.
Yeah.
I really liked it too. I thought the kids were all really good.
Yeah, dynamic between them was good,
Yeah, and I thought this is a spinoff that I would watch, and I was going, why have I never heard that this was a spinoff? Because I guess it wasn't, but
I don't remember this episode at all. I mean, obviously there's too many episodes to remember all of them, but it's not on my radar in the slightest.
No, I mean, I obviously...
I actually thought when the then and now the then part, when they're showing the previous episodes,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's her. I'm glad they're bringing her back.
Yeah, totally.
Like I had liked her in that previous episode.
Yeah,
so
she has a really cool look.
that was smart.
Yeah, and but I had never, remembered it being discussed. Solid episode.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I wonder if it would have worked even better earlier in the season, because it's kind of weird. Like in the last 5 episodes of the season, you're really gearing up for the big finale, right? So we're like, gates of hell, gates of hell, gates of hell. Hey, how about these? And you're kind of like,
well, do we know if these kids come back? Do they help with the gates of hell? I mean, do we see them again?
According to our notes, no.
You read ahead, cheater.
Right. Yeah.
Well, let's see. I'm going to give it, it's a solid classic sort of not season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Supernatural episode. It's more in the later seasons where guest stars play bigger roles and we go with them, which happens. I don't think it ever happened in season 1 through 5, but it happens occasionally since then. But I think it does it well, and I like these guest stars, and following their story is interesting, and it feels like like you say, a separate show. I'm going to give it the right now today Rob Benedict.
Oh,
it's a good looking beard.
Okay,
solid, well manicured.
Wow,
nice accent piece.
I need to color the gray a little.
No, actually, I'm calling that a good. Like,
okay,
you're not over dyeing it.
Wow.
It looks natural. It fits. Like this fits in the show.
Wow,
it works. I'm going to go with the Rob Benedict.
Wow, I feel honored. Thank you, everyone. I want to thank the Academy, my mom.
This is so great. I'll be backstage drinking, everybody, the mocktails that they're going to serve.
Exactly. Drinking mocktails and going broke.
With Kristen Bell.
Because they always charge at those shows. I want to say that I would like to give it, I'm going to go ahead and give it. This is what I'm giving it. I'm going to give it.
Give it, Robbie. Give it old school.
Yeah, I'm going to give it young Chris Hemsworth's beard.
All right.
I'm giving it the youth, a youthful beard is my point.
Right.
But I'm going to give it a young Chris Hemsworth with a beard.
Nice.
CW ready. Off our normal bearding, just because it's sort of it's an off-track episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of in a world of its own.
Agreed.
But yeah, I thought that was a really, really solid episode, and it was kind of fun to kind of feel like you were in a different show for a second. You know what I mean? Not different show, but just different avenue, I guess, different lane.
You know what I liked about this, and I think you will agree. It felt like a pilot or an embedded pilot.
Mm-hmm.
Embedded pilot, for those not in the know, means not a standalone show pilot, but a pilot that's embedded in the series.
Yeah.
So which is how Supernatural did all of their pilots, all their attempted spinoffs. This felt like an attempted spinoff where they didn't try too hard.
Right.
It felt like it fit, it felt organic.
Yes.
And a lot of times with those pilots, by no fault of the writers, but the network's like,
yes.
Can you hammer home that she's from a divorced family and that her brother died? And can you really, really squeeze in a bunch of details that we could reveal slowly over time, but let's not?
Yeah.
It just felt smoother and better than some of the embedded pilots.
Agreed.
And not an embedded pilot, by the way, unless Madison comes on and says it was.
Which takes us right into our next section, our guest interview today. And I was watching the episode going, man, I hope we get Madison because she's been a key part of two different episodes.
Yeah.
Madison has been featured in a number of TV series as a guest star and has had major arcs on Arrow, Chicago PD, and Major Crimes. She's also an award-winning short film director with her projects Reaching Athena and Leap of Love. And we are delighted to sit down and have a conversation with Madison. You were obviously a child actor.
Yeah, I know. Let's see. I think it started because I loved movies and I would recreate entire scenes from like The Jungle Book and The 101 Dalmatians and things. And my mom was like, this is a little weird, but she's having fun. And she was, I think, like brilliant and put me in acting classes and theater and stuff like that locally in Louisiana, where we're from. And I loved it. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I thought it was a way for me to like process, I think, a lot of emotions. When I was really young, I used it almost as therapy, I think.
Right.
And then my whole family moved to Los Angeles in 2007 at the very beginning of the year. And I started acting classes out here. And then, agents and all of these things kind of popped up. And then when I was 15, I did my first TV show.
How old were you when you moved to Los Angeles?
I think I just turned 11.
Gotcha.
Wow.
And so I was doing plays and I was doing short films. And my mom always told me, she was really cool. She was like, the second that you don't want to do this anymore, we can stop.
Right.
That's awesome.
Good.
And she just kind of treated it like soccer practice or something, And then the auditions just kept coming. And then I got The Mentalist when I was 15. And a week after that, I flew to Canada to do my first episode of Supernatural. And I turned 16 on set. And then Jensen Ackles sang me happy birthday. And I was just in it for life, I think.
That'll
like,
do
there's
it.
no turning back after that,
No.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And then were you surprised when you got the call to come back and do another episode?
Oh, yeah. I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was really... I was very pleasantly surprised. And I was also in a really different part of my life than I was in season 1, even though it had just been, season 7, even though it had just been one season. I went from turning 16 on set to being 17, almost 18. That's a big jump in your life.
Totally.
And I was so happy that they had me back and I was so scared I was going to mess it up. I think when I did my first episode of it, I was just like giddy and excited. And the second time I went back, I had done a lot more shows.
Right.
And I knew a lot more and I knew how special Supernatural was. But I had the best time. I look back at that and I think that in a lot of ways, doing that episode is kind of what kept me out of getting into more trouble, I think, in LA.
Right.
Because it's like, I was getting a taste of that. I was doing these young adult shows and I was, going to these parties and things like that. And then just in the middle of where it could have gone really sideways, I went and had a couple of weeks with Jared and Jensen. And it's like, that's a master class in how to stay on the right course.
That's great.
That's awesome. That's so great. A lot of the actors we have, everyone says how great they are, but that's a great way to put it too. Like they really are.
When you're that young, in the industry, I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was such a baby. I look at, my sisters when they were that age And I think I have a different level of gratitude for it than I did at the time.
Well, you would, because when you're in
Yeah.
real time as a 16-year-old, you're not thinking in terms of, I'm glad they're treating me like a 16-year-old. You know what I mean? Like,
No, I was like, these old geezers, what are they doing?
right.
I love that part of it too, by the way, when your character is like, gives Dean crap about being old.
I'm going to be so real. I did not understand why that was a joke at the beginning. Because at the time I was like, but he is.
But he is old.
And now I'm probably the age that he was at the time. And I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Nothing like being a teenager,
Hey there, it's Misha Collins. If you're like me, you want a break from the sound of Richard Spate's voice, we'll be right back after this.
Hey, it's Rich Spate, and I don't know about you, but I like keeping my money where I can see it. Unfortunately, traditional big wireless carriers also seem to like keeping my money. So, after years of overpaying for wireless, I finally got fed up with crazy high wireless bills, bogus fees, and free perks that actually cost more in the long run, and switched to Mint Mobile. You could be saving a ton with Mint Mobile. Why? Because you're not overpaying. Pay for what you need, pay for what you want, and Mint Mobile does all of it seamlessly. Stop overpaying for wireless just because that's how it's always been. Can you hear the air quotes? Because I'm really trying to sell them. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. $15 a month? That's definitely less than a smoothie at Erewhon. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. What's up, G? Bring your own phone and your own number, activate with eSIM in minutes, and start saving immediately. No long-term contracts, no hassle. It's time for you to ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. The Spade House uses Mint Mobile. Why? Because we don't like throwing money around like it's confetti. That's not how we roll. Crazy phone bills can break the bank. Mint puts the kibosh on the crazy. There's no crazy phone bills because you're not paying for stuff you don't need. You get the data you need. You get the great connection. You get a phone that is your own phone with your own contacts in it and your own phone number. So you don't have to do anything squirrely just to get on Mint Mobile. Nah, just go to their website and sign up. It's that easy. And the quality is fantastic. No drop calls. I never drop a call unless I drop my phone, in which case I'm dropping a call physically, not audibly. So that's not Mint's fault. That's on me. So if you like your money, like I like my money, Mint Mobile is for you. Shop plans at mintmobile.com/SPN10. That's mintmobile.com/SPN10. You're welcome. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, 5 gigabyte plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Hey everybody, this is Rob. There's never been a time where I haven't needed a therapist. Even before I started seeing a therapist, I needed a therapist. And what I didn't know before I started seeing a therapist was that it's a sounding board, if nothing else. It's a place, a person you can go to who's not related to you, has no skin in the game, but they are someone that will listen to you for an hour. Now, finding the right therapist is the difficult part. And finding one who actually takes insurance, well, that's where most online therapy platforms fall short. Many don't work with insurance at all, which means you're stuck paying the full cost out of pocket or paying an expensive monthly subscription. Rula does things differently. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, making the average copay just $15 per session. That's real therapy from licensed professionals at a price that actually makes sense. Think about it. You use your insurance benefits to maintain your physical health, right? So why wouldn't you do the same for your mental health? And Rula isn't just about affordability. The whole experience is tailored around you. Other online therapy platforms might match you with the first available provider, whether or not they're the right fit. But Rula considers your goals, your preferences, your background to provide you with a curated list of licensed, in-network therapists who are actually aligned with what you need, because they know that finding the right therapist can make all the difference. So, no wait lists, no frustrating back and forth. Rula makes it easy to find a mental health provider who is accepting new patients, and appointments are available as soon as tomorrow, whenever tomorrow is, from whenever you're listening to this. Plus, Rula sticks with you throughout the journey, so They check in to make sure you're okay and that your care is helping you move forward. You're bound to find the right one for you. Rula partners with a network of over 15,000 therapists and psychiatrists nationwide, enabling you to find your personalized solution and the right therapist for you based on your needs, preferences, and state requirements. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that's actually covered by insurance. Visit rula.com/supernatural to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know we sent you. So go to rula.com/supernatural and tell them Supernatural Then and Now sent you. You deserve mental health care that works with you and not against your budget.
Thank you for supporting Supernatural Then and Now. And now, back to the show.
Well, Madison, we have to ask you because we're very curious. Was there ever talk about this being a spinoff?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it looks like a spinoff. Like we're like,
Man, we were
wanna
watching this, and
these
Rob and I
three.
are, associated with the show for a long time. But we're like, I never heard about a pilot in the middle of season
Never
8,
heard of it.
but this felt like a pilot.
It did. It felt like a backdoor. I don't think there was official conversation of that on my end.
Right.
And then towards the end of filming, I think it was maybe Jensen, maybe Jim Michaels. Someone made a comment of like, well, we'll see where this goes, hopefully. And that was when it dawned on me. I was like, oh,
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, we had the best time. I would have loved to seen where that, or like the Wayward Sisters, everything with Kat. Like I would have loved to see how either of those played out. But it definitely did feel, there was almost the energy of a pilot because it was me and Megan and Adam, and it was like it kind of felt like a pilot when we were shooting it.
It felt like a pilot watching it, and it felt like a pilot.
It played like it
in the way that pilots work. So Rob and I were joking in the course of discussing the episode that sometimes embedded pilots feel like things are being forced down your throat as a viewer. And I felt the opposite of this. We already knew your character because we'd already met her. And so it was a return of a character that we liked. And then this was her new family, this new chapter she was in. And it just was organically felt like a growing new show. You're like, oh, this is, these are all sprouting forth from this same garden, and it's going to make sense. Yeah, I'm not surprised it was talked about.
Yeah.
That makes me happy. Yeah, it makes me happy to hear that. I feel like I was kind of nervous on how, because this episode came out around the time that like Twitter was getting really big, and I was really nervous about what people were going to say. But I feel so lucky. All of my encounters with Supernatural fans have been really pleasant compared to other fandoms that I've been a part of.
Right.
Sure.
And
right. Have you ever done a convention?
Yeah, I did more so for Arrow because I did
For Arrow.
Yeah, I did the superhero show Arrow. But I don't know who allowed this, but I think it was before my very first episode of Supernatural aired, or right as it aired, they asked me to do the convention that was in Burbank.
Oh, right.
And I was like freshly 16 and I'd never done anything like that. And you show up and they have a huge banner of your face on it and everything. And I had my grandmother and my mom with me. And I was like, this is so cool.
Wow.
And so that was my first ever convention experience was Supernatural. And then still now, whenever I go to stuff, Supernatural is one of the top 3 things. Even with my limited time on it.
Its fans are loyal, man. It is what it is,
Super loyal. And I also think it was really important I remember being that age, because that was a rare instance where I was the age that I was playing. And there were so few auditions and characters like that had like a real substance to them and that really were independent and free to kind of explore grief and stuff like that. And so it was such a fun character to play, but it was also, I think, a really important character for people to watch because that was something that a lot of teen girls didn't have in a lot of other shows.
Yeah, it was cool because because you actually were a growing teen. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like you had to pretend you were older. You were older. I mean, you physically looked a little bit more mature, and you were more of a teen, less of a little kid, and it played well on screen for the dynamics you had, not just with Dean, but with your co-conspirators, the other kids in the episode.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your dynamic with Dean. I love your relationship because your character's a little bit like Dean. Mm-hmm. And I think he recognizes that too. I love that dynamic. You mentioned him, being a good role model. Did you have a lot of fun working with Jensen and then that relationship, that dynamic?
Oh yeah, of course. When I very first met Jensen, it was from the first episode. I was still 15. My grandmother came to set with me, and I fresh off of a plane went in for a fitting and hair and makeup test and all that. And it was Halloween, which how perfect.
Whoa.
And
Wow.
I remember walking back to the trailer from hair and makeup, and I could hear my grandmother laughing in the trailer. And I was like, what is she? My grandmother is this tiny, tiny Southern woman from Louisiana, hairspray, higher the hair to the closer to God, the whole 9 yards.
I've never heard
And
that.
I'm like,
That's
what
genius.
is going on in there? And I open the door, and Jensen is sitting there with my grandmother talking about Louisiana. His wife is from Louisiana, all of these things. He's from Texas, and they know the same families and stuff like that. And I just kind of walk in, and I'm like, well, nice to meet you. And my grandmother's like, did you know this about Jensen? And he did this. And oh, he's just a sweetheart. He's just the sweetest heart. And she was so infatuated
That
with him
is so
that it made
awesome.
me immediately love him.
Yeah.
And I just felt so lucky. And so going back, it's actually fun. I think I mentioned this before, like on a panel or something, but I was, like I said, I was 17 going back, and so much life had happened for me. I'd started working. I had been in an abusive relationship, and I was just in one of those, you're 17 and you're trying to figure everything out kind of phases.
Yeah.
And Jensen was really the first person in the industry or otherwise to recognize that in me. I think because there was such a shift from the first time that he saw me to then when I showed up. And I think there was a lot of that he understood and had related to from his own life.
Yeah.
And it was nice because during that time, he really did kind of take on more of a mentor role with me. And he sat me down and he had some hard conversations with me about the industry and life and relationships. And that was something that it was like the first time I was ever hearing those things. It was the first time I ever heard that perspective, and someone was really that honest with me.
Right.
And I think it's so cool because that's definitely mirrored in the Chrissy and Dean relationship. And it was just cool. It's one of those cool moments when it's like you actually really like the people that you're working with.
That's really cool.
And he didn't have to do that. He easily could have gone back to his trailer and done his own thing. And instead he took his lunchtime and his breaks and stuff like that to kind of shepherd me. And I think at a time when I really needed it, and it worked. It kept me away from a lot of darker stuff.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm sorry, by the way, that you're having pretty serious stuff happen as a younger person. That's never easy. I think,
it's never easy, but I think it's something that, especially in the industry, and I also grew up in hospitals and stuff with my sisters. It's like I think the older that we get, we forget how real it is.
Yeah.
When you're a teenager and the first time that you're kind of dealing with hard decisions and grief and maybe people coming into your life that aren't bad people, but are making a lot of bad decisions. And then you end up wrapped up in that. And I was just so grateful that somebody was taking me seriously and talking to me instead of a kid.
Did your entire family move out from Louisiana?
Mm-hmm. My mom, my stepdad, my 3 sisters.
Wow.
How was the adjustment? Because I know you were interested in acting. That's why you moved, right?
No, I mean, that was definitely a plus, but we moved because my sister that's right after me, she is 24 now, but she had gotten sick and we had kind of exhausted all of the hospitals and doctors that were in our area in Louisiana. And so it was something where my mom was flying a couple times a month to go to doctors in New York and LA and Houston. And so we really needed a base that had really top-notch medical care.
Okay.
And it was basically between LA and Boston, and I wanted to act. And so my mom was like, okay, we'll go to LA.
That is fascinating. I'll be honest. This story is usually family moves because child wants to act. This is the opposite of that. It was sort of saving the life, improving the health care of one of your siblings. So this is just what do you call it? Like not a happy accident, because I guess medical care is not happy, but it's sort of a byproduct of that life decision, Well,
it is when you finally get the right medical care. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was something that I think was probably, like I said, considered for sure, but the main reason of the move was for the better medical care. And then it was just something where I remember some of my first acting classes were about like 10 minutes down the road from Children's Hospital. So my mom would, drop me off at acting class and she would go and do an appointment and then come back and scoop me up. And that just kind of became our normal really early on.
Let's talk about Chrissy. So you get the call and you're coming back this next season. You're a different person. How did you interpret what Chrissy had been through since the last time we saw her? How did you think that her character had evolved, and how did you put that into your performance?
I was so excited when I read the script. I was excited to get the call, but you get the call and hey, they want to check your availability.
Sure.
And I was immediately stoked. I was so happy. But I really didn't know what they were going to do with it. And so by the time that I got the script, I could not stop reading it. Page turner of all page turners for me, because I felt like a lot of my experience was mirrored in Krissy's. And I'm just so grateful to at the time, I remember reading what Adam had done with it. And from the beginning, he had such a specific idea of Chrissy.
Yeah.
Because I think he named it after his favorite cousin, and he, had a young daughter, and you could tell that he put so much of his heart into it.
Yeah.
And so when I was reading it and to see what Chrissy had been through, she was in a much darker space in some ways, but also she had become this, I think, version of herself that she really wanted in the first episode that I had Chrissy. I think she was a lot more independent. She was a lot more, we'll say, spirited, angsty. And
yeah.
I think there's a lot of power that comes in that, especially for, being that age and not loving the hand of cards that life has dealt you, and then kind of trying to take control after that. And that was what was so cool with the twist at the end that, her new surrogate dad basically had kind of set everything up. It was that all of that control that she thought that she had then went away again.
Right.
And that was so fun to shoot that scene, because it really felt like, okay, this is where she's actually taking control. This is where she gets to decide what type of a person she wants to be, what kind of a future she wants to have. And there was something just really empowering about that. And I think I needed that with where I was in my life. And it was so cool just to see them let this young girl come in and be kind of messy.
Yeah.
And angsty and frustrated and kind of go at the guys, Sam and Dean with full force. It was really just empowering to see that type of a character and to get to play her. It was so cool.
Yeah. And even the way you took you held your father figure to task, that one of the scenes that really stands out is with the gun. The gun that is empty, that he does not know is empty, is a great sequence.
Yeah.
And a great moment for your character, because it shows a decision you're making that Dean and Sam think you're going to shoot the guy in the head. You're not, but you're controlling the environment at that moment. It's a good.
Yeah, that's a capable person.
Yeah, it's a good scene.
I think it was really, really important. And it was important for me to do that too. Like I said, I was 17 going through my own stuff, and there was something so powerful about being able to portray Chrissy in that way, and being able to be like, okay, she's taking back the power and she's going to do the right thing here. And it was shocking for me to read, and it was really, I think, meaningful on a lot of levels for me to play.
Yeah. Did you work on any of the scenes offset with Jensen or the other guest stars or Showalter?
Yeah, we did. We worked not necessarily on a separate location, but we rehearsed a lot more than I was used to at the time. Specifically that, I'm trying to remember. I go back
I know it's cool, but we're going back a minute.
I know it's hard to.
No, but we did. There was something we were shooting on location in the woods, and there was this cabin that we were working in, and we were waiting for the light to change. We were waiting for it to get dark enough to shoot these night scenes and stuff.
Right.
And it was really cool being able to utilize that time to just kind of more so talk character. I did a lot of that with Jensen, a lot of that with Showalter too. And it was a cool way to be able to, usually as a guest star, you don't really get an opportunity to dive deeper. And it was really cool to treat it more like a character study.
And how did you find working with John Showalter?
I loved it. I also there was a moment when we were shooting the scene at the cabin, and we were really close to lunch, and it was, I think, our last day filming, actually. And I don't think I've ever told this story. It was our last day shooting, and I was going to be on a plane out of Vancouver right after. And I didn't realize that they were shooting my coverage when they were. And so I didn't. So then when I thought they were going to say, okay, we're going to go in tighter for the coverage, it was just, that's a wrap. And I panicked because I was immediately just so worried that I didn't, do the right thing, that I did, at that age and at that point in my career, I wanted to make sure that I was giving people what they wanted.
Yeah.
That was a really big theme, I think, as a child actor, as a lot of different artists. It's such a fine line, because when the art is really good, you have to completely suspend other people's perception of it.
Mm-hmm.
But you also care so much because it is your face and your voice and your feelings, and there's so much of you in it.
Yeah.
And so I just was in a place where I was super, super insecure about it. And Showalter was so great. He pulled me to the side because I got emotional. I was just when I found out that it had wrapped, I kind of went off of set, and I went out of the little building we were shooting in, and I just kind of started crying to myself. And I was shocked because I wasn't a big crier at the time. And I was like, what is happening? Why am I feeling all these emotions? And he came over and just director talked to me in such a way where I'm a director now. And I think that conversation's probably one of the big reasons why. And he was like, when it comes to doing a story, it's not about getting the right take. He's like, it's not about being the most talented. It's not about being, how it looks at all. He's like, it's about how it feels. It's about you showing up and being prepared and doing your job. And you did that. And, I wouldn't move on if I wasn't happy with it. And I was like, man, okay, are you sure? He's like, yes, I'm sure. And then he called Jensen over, and Jensen had this talk with me because Jensen had directed, I think, a couple of episodes at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he had also just found out that Danielle was pregnant.
Oh, wow.
And so it was an emotional time, I think, for all of us.
Wow.
And so Showalter, Jensen, and I had this great conversation of two dads and me, basically, and Jensen kind of saying,
wow,
the same thing that Showalter did, but then as an actor, he said, you have to trust in all of the work that you've done, all of the lines that you read, all the classes that you've done. You have to trust the people who put you in this position knew what they were doing. And you have to trust that you know what you're doing. And he said, stop asking if the take is okay. Because I would go up after almost
okay.
Do I need to change anything? Do I need to, what are we, is that okay? And he was like, I'm going to give you an exercise. I want you to never ask if a take is good unless you have a genuine question or something that happened. He said, otherwise, never, ever, ever go to the director after a take and ask how it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
And after that, I never have, not a single time.
Wow.
And what it does is it created this sense of okay, I did the work, I did my job, and I can leave it. And now it's up to all of these incredible editors and everybody in post to do whatever they have to do. And it just gave me a sense of how collaborative making a TV show really is.
Right.
And
yeah,
it took off so much of the pressure. And that was where I think I got so much of my love of directing and being on the other side of things too.
That's such a valuable lesson to learn as a 17-year-old.
Because I used it in life.
Even just as a person. Yeah, totally. Yeah, go, you know what? I did my best. And I can't control what other people think. And, but I think it was great. And, you move on.
I mean, I used to obsess over it, It was I wanted to make sure that it was good and that people liked me. And I always think about the Sally Field speech when she won. I think it was an Oscar or something. She's like, they like me. They really like me. And that's such a real feeling as an actor, but it was such an incredible lesson. Also, just as a person growing up into an adult, that it actually doesn't matter. You show up and you show up as prepared as you can. You put the best work out that you can, and then you leave it there and you go on with your life. And you can't carry that type of anxiety and people pleasing with you. And that was something, it was literally like a video game where I jumped to the next level. I felt like that in real life in that moment. So I have Jensen and Showalter to thank for that.
That's great.
Level up.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And obviously Jensen is, Jensen, he's a veteran performer and actor, but you're also in great hands with Showalter. That guy's a mensch and has done it so well for so long and was one of the stronger voices behind the camera for Supernatural. So it's a great, and Adam Glass, by the way, great writer. That, you had a lot of really cool people behind this episode.
Yeah, you're in good hands.
Yeah, I feel like I was definitely kind of carried in a lot of ways. And I think about it now, knowing what I know and having done more. And I'm 30 now and looking back, and I'm just like, I got so lucky. I mean, I think everybody that I know who's been on Supernatural feels that way. They're like, oh, it's such a fun show where people like each other and the crew's been around for so long. But it was like, as a kid, because I had friends that were not as lucky, that were had a lot of different experiences. I mean, when you're that young, you're really impressionable. And I got so lucky that the people that I had to look at were Jared and Jensen and that crew. Like
Right. Yeah.
I'm so grateful to it. It like blows my mind.
Yeah. And I don't know what your friend's experience was, but I guarantee you their experience was more normal, because Supernatural was the odd one where the lead guys were that kind from pilot to season 15, and the directors were that warm, and the crew, there's a high retention rate of crew. So you'd see the same faces, which made it conducive to doing some of your best work. And you do a lot of great work.
Yeah. Like right away, you're not like, because, we're watching the show for the first time. Right. So, when we saw in the pre, whatever they
flashback,
call it,
the preview, like what we saw a few weeks ago. Yeah.
The then before the now. Yeah. We're like, oh, her, like we're excited. You're excited that you're back.
Yeah. And Rob and I, we try to be honest in how we perceive the show, because we've been associated with it for 20 of our professional years. And we liked you when you first came on. You're really good in that character.
Yeah.
And really good on the show.
Yeah.
So it was great to have you come back a second time.
And I'd 100% watch this spinoff, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Damn it. Oh, well.
Thanks. Yeah, I really love doing it. I feel so like grateful to Sarah for casting me in it. She was in my audition, and so was Jem. And I feel so grateful to them and to Adam and the whole crew, because you can tell it's one of those shows that they really stick true to that no asshole rule.
Yeah.
Like everybody that I met and that I meet now, that was in season 2 or season 13 or whatever, people that I meet now, they're always like nice people. And that's wild to me. That's such I don't think people really understand how rare of an experience that is.
Those of us in the business know.
Yeah. I know.
We know.
True.
Yeah. And you got along well with your other cohorts, Adam and is it Megan?
Yeah, I did. I actually got to see Megan a few years ago. I went back to Vancouver, and we got to hang out and like catch up, and it was so cool. It was just such a weird experience, because I was younger than them, and I remember I was really kind of embarrassed because there was a scene where I was supposed to drive a car and like pull up to the house, and I didn't have my license.
Oh my God.
And so I was so embarrassed. I was clearly from all the other stories, I was really on edge in my life, but it was nice to have other kids. I guess they were adults, but nice to have other people closer to my age on a set. It was really one of my first ever experiences of that.
Well, and you have a makeout scene. Was that a first?
Oh, yeah. That was my first, I think, TV show. I had like an independent film that I did back when I had braces, and the whole joke was that our braces stuck together. God. There was like a comedy scene, which is a bit different from what we had in Supernatural.
Right.
It was awkward. It was weird, but it was so like choreographed and stuff like that, which looking back, I'm really grateful for. And then the funny thing is, right after this, literally I got off the plane in LA and I went straight to Teen Wolf, and Teen Wolf was like, it was like just full on, MTV teenagers and love. And so it was kind of nice because it was like I had just come off of Supernatural, and I was like, okay, I can do this. I already did it once. I got this. It's not that scary.
Yeah.
Because it's like a weird thing, probably at any age. But I think definitely being that young, I was like, oh my gosh. Because I was like 17 and Adam, I think, was like 23 or 24.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah. So he was like keeping his distance from me big time. He was like,
well, that's respectful. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Looking back, I'm definitely grateful for that.
Now, I understand you have a charity they're involved with, and you're doing a lot of charity work. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. It's called the MacPack Foundation. It is for my family started it. My sisters and my mom started it. I have 3 sisters, and 2 of my sisters have this really, really rare disease. There have been 24 people diagnosed with this disease in the world.
Whoa.
So it is, when I say
Oh my
rare,
God.
I mean, it's really rare. And when you are diagnosed with a rare disease, first of all, it takes forever to get that diagnosis. Like we were, I think, 10 or 12 years into being undiagnosed before we got our diagnosis. And then when you get diagnosed with something rare, it's just really, really hard to find things like community or funding. Insurance won't cover a lot of treatment or wheelchairs or equipment, things like that. So we started this foundation initially to support other families with HBSL, my sister's disease. And then as my sisters have gotten older, because they're adults now, they have gotten really passionate about disability awareness and advocacy and talking about accessibility. I mean, the fact that we're sending people to outer space and we don't have any wheelchair accessible airplanes is wild to me. So we talk a lot about just awareness and accessibility in a way that is easier to digest and not something that just feels like, oh, this is a really sad story and you should feel bad for these people. My sisters hate people feeling bad for them. They hate being called inspirational. They hate like that entire, I think, narrative that's been going on for a long time in disability awareness. Instead, they're just fully themselves. And so we get to use MacPack Foundation to talk about that awareness and accessibility and hopefully build some spaces that are a little bit more inviting and inclusive to people who have various disabilities.
And is there a website or a place where people can learn more about this foundation?
There is. Yeah, we're on Instagram at MacPack Foundation, and then our website is macpackfoundation.org.
MacPack is MACPAC?
MACPAC. Yeah.
MACPAC Foundation. Great.
Yeah, that's us.
Well, go check it out. Good listeners of this podcast. And man, what a treat to have you on the podcast. Thank you for coming and having a conversation.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, Madison.
It was so fun to see you guys, and maybe I'll see you at a convention someday.
Madison, we'd love it. We'd love it.
We would love that.
And thank you so much for sharing everything. It's been a really good conversation.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
And a great character, such a great character Krissy was on the show. Very memorable.
Krissy Chambers forever. I love
Krissy Chambers for life.
I will die on the hill.
Thank you so much.
Hey there, this is Jensen. I hope you're enjoying the episode, but we need to pull over for a second for some messages, and I gotta take a leak.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can be a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help you find options within your budget. Try it today at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states. Yes, online shopping is quite literally at our fingertips, but that doesn't mean it's always simple to buy. Whether it's trying to remember one of a million different logins so you can actually place your order, or getting almost all the way through checkout before realizing your card is nowhere near you, there are many hiccups that can get between you and placing that order. Which is why it's such a relief when you see that purple pay button that has all of your information saved, making checkout as simple as a tap of your screen. That iconic purple Shop Pay button is why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet, meaning less carts going abandoned and more sales going to you. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Thrive Cosmetics, Gymshark, and Allbirds, to brands just getting started. And they're not just great at converting sales. If people haven't heard about your brand yet, Shopify can help you find your customers with easy-to-run email and social media campaigns. And they have world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. Tackle all of those important tasks from one place, making your life easier and your business operations smoother. See less carts go abandoned and more sales go with Shopify and their Shop Pay button. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm. That's shopify.com/realm.
Thanks for supporting Supernatural then and now. And now, back to the show.
What a treat.
What a lovely young lady. Great in the show. And what's interesting,
Delightful young
and
lady.
you can help me out here. I know we've had some young actors. I feel like it's one of our first times to have a 16-year-old from the show, now a completely grown actor.
Yeah, feels like a first.
Well, I'm thinking Tyler Johnston was kind of young when he did Bugs and we had him. I don't know, but I feel like she was the youngest,
Sure.
began as the youngest character to now transitioning into an adult storyteller. Is fun to have her because her reflections on her are interesting,
Yeah, and unique because we see her grow up on the show too. So
very cool.
Yeah, just great.
Well, we could have this conversation all day, but we're not going to because we're going to move into the segment called Mythology. Kids
hunting monsters is a popular topic for Hollywood movies. Here are a few of our favorites, all of which we have watched several times and know exactly what they're about. Rich?
Well, I can't say my name, Rich Spate, without also saying The Monster Squad, 1987.
87.
I mean, that was when I fell in love with movies, and it was The Monster Squad. It was a group of kids that took on Dracula and other famous monsters, and it was a staple in the Spate home when I was in high school.
I mean, it'd be great to get some actor names in these.
Nope.
Okay. Then, of course, there's 2008's The Spiderwick Chronicles, where children discover a field guide to fairies and monsters, battling them to protect their home.
I remember calling you up in 2008, and I said, "What are you watching these days, Rob?" And you go, "Easy, The Spiderwick Chronicles."
Yeah, well, I watched it so much, I just called it Spiderwick. You seen Spiderwick?
I can be honest, I'm embarrassed to tell you that I thought Spiderwick was a period of time in the 90s when Spider-Man was dating John Wick. And that was their celebrity couple name.
In the 90s?
Yeah, whatever. Before this. Yeah, whatever.
Before the movie and John Wick.
Yeah.
It's a prequel.
A Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting. I don't have to tell you, Rob, that this was from 2020.
Oh, yeah.
A teenager joins a secret society of babysitters to save a child from the boogeyman.
The boogeyman. And the first name on the list that I recognize, Goosebumps. 2015, teenagers team up to recapture monsters from R.L. Stein's books.
Wait a minute. The monsters are stuck in R.L. Stein's books?
Yep.
Is that true?
I don't know.
Oh.
I just recognize the title.
I'll tell you, that title just gives me... Attack of the Block. No, wrong. Attack the Block.
Yeah.
I thought it was a geometry comes to life and attacks children in Attack of the Block. No, okay. Attack the Block in 2011. Teens taser South London fight off an alien invasion.
Apologies to anyone from London.
Teens and people from South London. Teens in South London fight off an alien invasion. Okay.
All right. The Gate, 1987. Kids accidentally open a hole in their backyard to a hellish dimension.
Boy, if I had a nickel for every time Rob accidentally opened a hole.
That's why you call my house The Gate.
All right. Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, which was made in 2015. A group of scouts, I don't know if they're girl or boy or hunting scouts, I don't know what's going on there. They fight off a zombie outbreak.
Wow. I really don't know. I knew one of these movies.
These are very vague plot descriptions, by the way. And I don't know any of these movies. No, that's not true. I know Goosebumps. I've heard of Goosebumps. Yeah. Don't you wish we knew who starred in these movies?
That would have been cool. But that's not how we roll.
Maybe that'll be in Fun Facts.
The thing about this podcast is we need you to do some work, listener.
Yeah, you the listener.
We gave you the title of the movie. You go find out who was in it.
Yeah, we host a podcast, but we're not running your life. Yeah. You figure it out.
Yeah, for $25 an episode.
We'll tell you who's in Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. And now it's time for Fun Facts! Fun Facts! Fun Facts! Fun Facts!
The name of the episode is an homage to the 1999 television series Freaks and Geeks, featuring many future stars.
Dude, it literally, Freaks and Geeks is the American Graffiti of TV shows. I mean, it was everybody in it became a star.
Yeah. We're watching this show right now on HBO called DTF St. Louis, and it's got Linda Cardellini, who's the lead in Freaks and Geeks.
Linda Cardellini was in Freaks and Geeks?
She's the lead character.
Wow.
You didn't watch Freaks and Geeks?
I did not.
Oh, man. Freaks and Geeks is amazing. Freaks and Geeks was so good.
Yeah, I know.
It was so good. It was such a good show. And
Judd Apatow, right? Like, it put him on the map. And
who?
Judd Apatow,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. It was Judd Apatow. And then made all these kids famous, including, so many people.
And Judd Apatow is
Seth Rogen.
Critical to that because Judd Apatow is the one who went and made Superbad with those guys. Like, he helped them all succeed. Beyond that.
Yeah. He made stars out of a lot of people, even like the 40-year-old virgin, Steve.
Steve Carell?
Yeah, I guess Steve was already famous, maybe from The Office. But still.
Yeah, no, he's great.
But Seth Rogen was in Freaks and Geeks.
Jason.
Which,
the big tall dude, How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah. Jason, and...
what's his face?
The Psych,
Martin Starr.
The Psych movie.
What?
The Psych series, the series about psychiatrists that's on Apple TV.
Shrinking.
Yes.
With Harrison Ford. But what's the guy's name?
Jason Segel.
Jason Segel.
Who, and Ruth always says, Jason Segel.
Jason Segel.
That Jason Segel.
But the Finnish title
of this episode?
To this episode is Tiny Kerho. Tiny Kerho, which in Finnish means teen club. Huh. I guess the Japanese probably have a similar choice, Rob.
Let me look down my list here. Japanese. Okay, Japanese. It's gonna be tough, but loosely translated, it's the happy fun boat that kills you.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
That's off topic.
Well.
Oh, they must be referring to Garth's boat.
That's what it is. Yeah. If I were DJ, I'd be pissed because you don't get paid for being mentioned. You know what I mean?
No love for DJ, financially. The episode was originally called The Apple Dumpling Gang. Now that's a movie. Now we're having a conversation.
Yeah, now you're talking about, finally.
Now you're in our lane.
Yeah.
Harvey Korman, Tim Conway, real actors.
Timely, of the moment.
And who is it? Angela Lansbury. I don't remember who else is in it, but it is.
But it
was very much a movie of the 70s Disney ilk.
I think Rich and Rob level, like that, our age.
Yeah.
Chrissy is named after writer Adam Glass's cousin. Aiden and Josephine are named after his children. Wow.
Aw.
Look at that. That's right, Josephine Glass. So I wonder, I guess Adam must have written the first episode that Chrissy was in.
I don't know.
Named after his cousin.
Oh, yeah. Well,
it's not
I guess. Yeah. You've answered your own question there. Yeah, nice. Good point. Well, that's a heck of a series of fun facts. So what an episode overall. A great episode of television that we all enjoyed.
Yeah, and honestly, the best spinoff that never happened.
Yeah, I know. Strange. Could have been a series. Could have been a hit.
Well, it's a hit in our hearts.
Sure is, Rob.
It's a spinoff in our hearts.
All right, we'll see you next week for the next episode of this series, Supernatural.
We certainly will. This episode of Supernatural features Jerry Padalecki as Sam Winchester and Jensen Ackles as Dean Winchester.
Guest stars include Madison McLaughlin, Adam DeMarco, Megan Danso, and Adrian Howe.
Freaks and Geeks was written by Adam Glass, directed by John F. Showalter.
Editing by James Pickle. We know the Pickle.
Pickle. Who did the music?
Christopher Leonards.
The digital compositor was Derek Rain.
Executive produced by Robert Singer and Jeremy Carver.
Supernatural was created by Eric Kripke.
The episode featured the following song, I'll Surely Die by the Rubens.
This episode originally aired on March 27th, 2013.
This episode of Supernatural Then and Now was hosted and executive produced by Richard Spade Jr. and Rob Benedict.
Produced by Stephen Hyde, written by Stephen Hyde and Hada Hosher.
And edited and associate produced by Trey Booty.
What's up, Booty?
Music provided by Tim Wynn.
The episode was recorded with the help of Sonic Fuel Studios.
This podcast is from Story Mill Media.
Follow the podcast on Instagram and YouTube at SPN Then and Now.
Become a member of the podcast to get early access, chat rooms with other podcast fans, and video interviews at patreon.com/SPN Then and Now.
Hey, everybody, it's Rob Benedict.
And I'm Richard Spate, Jr.
And we are talking about Season 8, Episode 19, Freaks and
Freaks and Yeeks.
Freaks and Yeeks.
Rob and Rich. Ratings.
When you do that, does Trey put music underneath it? Good. It really needs the music. I feel like the music really helps sell it. I like the way that Hines spelled Seth Rogen.
Rogen. Rogen.
Hey.
Stopped. Steve, you got to start recording.
Oh, and goodbye.
Story Mill Media.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
The war is over, and both sides lost. Kingdoms were reduced to cinders, and armies scattered like bones in the dust. Now the survivors claw to what's left of a broken world, praying the darkness chooses someone else tonight. But in the Shadow Dark, the darkness always wins. This is old school adventuring at its most cruel. Your torch ticks down in real time, and when that flame dies, something else rises to finish the job. This is a brutal rules-light nightmare with a story that emerges organically based on the decisions that the characters make. This is what it felt like to play RPGs in the 80s, and man, it is so good to be back. Join the Glass Cannon podcast as we plunge into the Shadow Dark every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/theglasscannon, with the podcast version dropping the next day. See what everybody's talking about and join us in the dark.